I have been analog for 2 months, and what does analog mean? It means that you gravitate towards more physical media, in summary. Not only am I gravitating towards more physical media, but I'm also doing so in order to get away from being so sucked into my phone and the online world. I felt that my mental health was deteriorating, as it does when you spend too much time on social media. I also felt I had so many creative ideas that I wanted to pursue, but I just couldn't get to finishing them because I would always pick up my phone. Or I'd say that I didn't have enough time when in reality I probably could have read that book if I wasn't scrolling for an hour this morning. So I decided, how can I realistically get off of social media and pursue things that I'm passionate about without just completely going hardcore? You have to have a substitute. You can't just drop everything. It doesn't work for a lot of people, and I've tried it in the past, but I always fell back into going on my phone. But this time, it's actually really worked, and I'm going to tell you how. First of all, I haven't been really active on social media for 2 months. I don't say completely inactive because I haven't had Instagram or TikTok on my phone, except when I need to post something for work. I'll let myself re-download it because you can't post on your story on your computer, and then I delete it. I have Instagram on my computer, but I only let myself check it about once a week for messages. I don't use my For You page, I don't use Reels, I don't use Shorts. I deleted YouTube from my phone because Shorts kept distracting me, so I had to get rid of that distraction. Another thing that I did that helped so much, and I actually saw this in another person's video, I forget his channel name at the moment, but I'll plug him in right there. This helped me immensely, and I've actually had a few friends do this as well after I told them about it, and they also said it really helped them stop checking their phone as much, and that is turning your phone in black and white. Yep, I can't see the color on my phone right now. I don't know what color the film looks like. I hope it looks good. I'll have color on my computer when I edit the video. And it's really helped me to stop picking up my phone because the bright colors, they really attract you into scrolling, into clicking on new things. And even when I got rid of TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, I'd still find other things to do on my phone, like Pinterest, or I'd read my email, and I'm like, why am I reading my email? I've already checked my email today. I doubt someone's messaged me within the next 5 minutes, you know? Now, I don't want to spend the whole video talking about get off your phone, kids, it's bad for you. I want to talk about the really cool things that I've gotten to accomplish since I've been off my phone, and that is analog, because I have wanted to replace all the time I spend online with things that are tangible, with things in real life. There's been hobbies I wanted to try and places I wanted to go see and plays I wanted to watch, and I just haven't done it because I'm like, I'll just go online. Something that I've been doing with my friends is comic collecting, and I started this last summer. I would read a comic series here and there, but mostly I would just watch the MCU and the CW growing up. But I wanted to get into comics because a lot of my favorite characters are dead, so I don't have any content. But I thought, since I'm being analog, I'll use this money that I would pay for streaming services. I canceled my streaming services. I'll re-download them when the next season of my favorite shows are out. Daredevil, Born Again. Anyways, but in the meantime, I was like, I'll fill my time with comic collecting. Right now, one of my favorite series is the new Iron Man one, because Iron Man is my favorite superhero. I'm an Iron Man girl. I am more into Marvel, but I have been dabbling in DC more so recently. When I was a kid, I was super into The Flash, CW, and right now I'm reading the new Iron Man series, the new Rogue series, the new Punisher series, and the new Daredevil and Punisher series. I love street crime. Rogue is the first X-Men I've really gotten into. I typically gravitate towards superheroes that don't actually have superpowers, or they're like really subtle. I love street crime and like grounded superheroes. I consider Iron Man grounded, even though he is a little arrogant. Even though he is a little arrogant turd sometimes, I love him for it. I love that he's so real and flawed. And so, actually, funny story, I was sitting in my ecology class and I have an Iron Man sticker on my water bottle, and my professor's like, you like Iron Man? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, my husband loves Iron Man. And then she asked me why, and everyone was just like dead silent. And I'm like, I like that he's flawed. And she liked that. And she's like, my husband likes that he's rich. If you don't know what comic collecting is, or what a pull box is, basically you can find your local comic book store, you can get a pull box there, and there's series that are being released maybe every week, bi-weekly, once a month, And it's kind of like a little episode, like each comic is its own issue, and then you want to get the next part to continue the series until you collect them all. And you can find a local comic store, get a pull box, where basically it's like a subscription where you have this box, and if you want to subscribe to a series, every time the next part of the series comes out, they put it in your box for you. And then you go in on Wednesdays, because that's comic pull day, and you just pick up your edition. But you should totally check it out. It's something fun to do with friends. It's tangible. They're super cheap. They're like $3.99, $4.99 per comic. Another thing I've done a lot of this year so far is reading, and I've been trying to up my reading goal every year since college started, because back in high school I lost my passion to read. I read like 1-2 books a year, and usually at least one of those was something from school. Last year I read 32 books, I believe. This year I want to read 40 books and plays. And I told that to a lot of people, and they were like, that's a big jump, like adding 10, because my last year's goal was 30. This year's goal is 40. A lot of people were telling me, are you sure you want to make that big jump? Because I barely made it last time, you know? I had to use Christmas break to catch up. But after I stopped being on my phone, I would just pick up a book when I wasn't on my phone. And I've read almost 8 books, and it's not even the end of February yet. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? My current read, I'm reading Jane Austen, A Life by Claire Tomalin. Mostly I've read biographies, classics, and mysteries this year because those are kind of my favorite genres. My favorite book I've read so far would probably be The Friendship by Adam Seisman, which was a biography, and my most recent completed read was It's Not Her by Mary Kubica. Another thing that I've been trying to get into is I keep running out of storage on my phone, so I thought I'm gonna just stop taking pictures of everything on my phone and get a digital camera. I got a digital camera for my birthday because I turned 22 in early February, and it's my favorite color, burgundy. And I've been taking a lot of photos on here. I'll put a few here, but I just like take 1 or 2 here and there when I'm hanging out with friends, or on my birthday I took a whole bunch, and I actually put the camera on the table and I told everyone, take candids however you want. And I have an SD card that I got for my birthday as well, and I can just put those on a drive and then clear it and keep using the same one. Super nice, 128 gigabytes. So another thing that I've gotten into as well is CDs. Streaming services keep going up, and I love watching the shows on there, but I can't afford to have every single streaming service at the same time when you're a college student, when you're working, when you're trying to afford to create new songs, because I put a lot of my money I make from my songs just back into my music because I love doing it and I want to make more. And so I just need to cut back on costs sometimes. There's certain shows that I've been wanting to watch, but I'm like, I don't want to have the streaming service for like 5 months and then I don't end up finishing it, you know? For example, The X-Files. I love watching The X-Files, but it's a long show. I think there's 11 seasons and I've only made it through 3 seasons. So what I did was, my friend actually, she heard me talking about how I wanted to get into physical media, and she got me a CD player for my birthday. And CDs are super cheap, especially if you thrift them. So I got the entire first 6 seasons of The X-Files on DVD for $18, which that's like 1 month of streaming subscription for one streaming service. Isn't that crazy? For no ads, at least. Other things that I've gotten into, I wanted to do more physical activities. I don't want to go into details, but I've been having some health problems, so I can only do certain cardio things. As of now, I've been limited into what I can do. I was jump roping, but that's too high intensity for my body to handle. So I've been looking for new things to do. And since I used to do sports when I was growing up, but I just never really got into them. I've played like 12 sports or something like that, even though I ended up becoming a theater major. I wanted to try new things that could be ways of getting exercise, but also were enjoyable and things I could do with friends. So I actually went roller skating a couple times this month with one of my friends who she grew up roller skating. And so she was teaching me how to, and it was so much fun. Also, I got super into romantic era poetry this year. The Friendship, the book I mentioned earlier, is a biography on the founding fathers of the Romanticism movement. I got so into that. I was reading so much poetry on the Romantics, like Wordsworth, Coleridge, Shelley, Keats, Byron, Mary Shelley. She's a romantic. She's just not a romantic poet, but she is a romantic. So basically the point of Romanticism is that basically the world was getting so industrialized and people forgot how to love each other, and all of the writing was very like self-centered and not really thinking about your fellow man or your fellow neighbor or your friends. It was more about me and what can I get out of life and how can I succeed. Basically, the writers of the Romanticism movement didn't like that literature was straying away from justice for the poor, giving voices to the common man, being in nature, seeking God and spirituality, and just like mystery and mysticism. And there's so many branches of Romanticism, and it's very emotional as well. And Romanticism artwork isn't an exact replica of real life. It's more of an interpretation because there's mystery and everyone has their own take, and it's beautiful. And so I just loved Romanticism. I was reading all of this poetry and I realized I don't go outside that much. I don't enjoy nature that much. And I live in the most biodiverse state in the United States, California. There's more biomes and nature places to see here than anywhere else. So I told myself I want to look at more places. So I went bird watching in January. I went to wetlands, I went to marshes, I went to the ocean. I'm going on a hike with some friends soon, and it's been really nice. I actually wrote some poetry out in nature too, and it was so fulfilling. I just got to slow down and just take things in. Another thing that I've been doing every morning is reading my Bible. Someone challenged me to reread the New Testament, and I've read the New Testament before, but I haven't like reread it in like big chunks in a long time. So I've been challenging myself to read a couple chapters every morning before I do stuff. I've been going to do exercise every morning. I just feel so much more like whole. All these things I've been doing, from like comics to CDs to roller skating and all of these things I've been doing with friends. Like I go comic collecting with friends, I go roller skating with a friend, I went beach reading with my roommate. Like we were just there for hours reading books on the beach. But yeah, so I encourage you, if you were thinking about trying to get off your phone, you don't have to just be so militant all at once. Take it piece by piece, put your phone in black and white. Delete apps from your phone and have them on your computer. Don't guilt yourself into opening them up once in a while on your computer, because I do that. I have OCD, so I'm like I had to do like a really good transition. I had to do a slow transition because I knew my OCD would just make me feel so guilty if I broke my rules that I set in place. So I told myself, take it slow, make it fun, give yourself other things to do, because if you just take away all the social media and there's nothing to replace it, then you're just gonna be down on yourself. Last but not least, I said that I wanted to do more writing because I want to be a playwright. I love writing poetry. I have a novel that I've been working on for 2 years. So far it's February 25th. I am 72 pages into my musical. I've written 14 or 15 songs, I believe. I think I've edited about 30,000 words of my novel, and I think there's a total of about 80,000 words, so I've made headway on that. I've written several poems. I've also submitted poems to be published. I haven't heard back from publishers yet, but I did get some emails back saying that they were looking over my stuff, so that's really cool. I'm just really content with all that I've created. I've written new songs. I'm working on a new album that I will tell you more about soon because it's a passion project of mine, but I've just done so much and I just feel so fulfilled. And I feel like I'm finally living life, not being trapped behind my phone all the time. My phone isn't going to ruin the world, but it's all about knowing like how to monitor it. And remember, like you only live once, and if you don't try all the things you want to try because you're on your phone, you're gonna regret it. So this is my video on being analog. Thanks for watching.